All right, we are back. So usually when we do After the Beat, we take your questions and comments, and we will get to that. But we ran out of time on the live sort of free-for-all portion of this program. So I have to ask these individuals, and we'll have some time, of course, when the fight gets done. But the news is out there, reported yesterday, that there are discussions of having CM Punk fight in Chicago, which makes all the sense in the world if you're going to have him fight in his hometown, against Mike Jackson, our friend, MMA media member, right?
Yep.
How much do you love this?
Panelist on this show.
Former panelist. Right. Be the first former panelist. No, actually, he's already fought in the
I forgot about that.
Yeah. How much do we love it? Scale of 1 to 10.
First of all, I do like Mike Jackson. I got to hang out with him in Houston.
Okay.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
Is there a number less than 0 that we can look at?
Come on. If they're going to book him, is this the fight?
What? Okay, I mean, the question itself is so absurd. This is so absurd. This is completely absurd. This is like, again, Transformers, more than meets the eye. That's what this is. It's another Transformers movie for low education, or excuse me, low information voters. I don't know how else to say it. What could possibly be the appeal of this? Look, if you this is a fight that would be on the regional scene, yeah? And why do you have fights in the regional scene? Because guys need to get experience, or they just want to test themselves, or there's a lot of reasons why you compete down there. If you didn't know either of these two individuals, they were just a name on a card. What would possibly be the appeal if you didn't know them? If you know Mike Jackson, yeah, you care, you want to see him win, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you know CM Punk...
What if I told you CM Punk sells more tickets in Chicago than anyone on the roster?
And tell me why I'm supposed to give an F about that.
No, you're not supposed to give an F about anything.
I'm not making money off him. In fact, I got to give money to him. So if I'm going to give money to him, the least it could be is at a standard of excellence. This is like, it's one...
Do you understand why they're doing it?
Yeah, of course. They're going to... Look, we're in an era where this is just a free-for-all at this point. They're just going to start signing circus animals. We're going to have bears fighting tigers at some point.
This should have been the first fight, right?
But here's my point. It's like, true. I want to be clear about this. It sounds like I'm being terribly demeaning, which maybe I am, but I absolutely respect his martial arts journey. He straps on that gi, he steps on that mat, and I bet he gets torn up at Duke Rufus's, and he's been doing it for a long time now. Yo, that's for real. You have to take your hat off to that guy.
Yeah.
But then using your celebrity to get an unearned opportunity, and then the whole thing is exposed as fraudulent to begin with.
Yeah.
Now they have to grade you on a curve, and you're fighting someone in the media. I mean, who is the audience for this? I realize that there is one, but I question their judgment.
But other than that, are you into it a little bit?
Yeah, please, kill me, man. Kill me. Batista never did this, by the way. Batista never did this. He got a Cesar Gracie purple belt, and he fought on the regional scene. I would say nothing if he did that.
But Batista would have taken the UFC fight if offered to him.
Again, these guys are going to do things that are going to be in their self-interest. I understand that, but the UFC has to have some discretion about this.
It's a different kind of thing. I mean, the first time they did it, it's like, the first time they fought, it was like, it didn't make any sense, and we had to kind of wrap our minds around the idea of them doing it. So the fact that he looked as he did, he got beat pretty easily in there, it did not make you want to see this happen again, And I feel like that's really where it's at. But at the same time, I mean, I'm with you 100%. I could echo everything you said, but there is a little bit of it. It's like, he has been training presumably this whole time. So I don't necessarily need to see it in a UFC, but I am anxious to see kind of how far he's come along.
Almost 2 years later.
2 years later. I'd rather it happen in a different theater, but at the same time, I completely get it.
And at least they're not picking up some other random schmo. Like Mike Jackson at least has fought in the UFC.
True.
He's done his due diligence.
Many times that should have been the guy who fought the first time.
And I should also preface once again, like this fight isn't done. This is what they're sort of dabbling with. But and we could talk, like we've already talked about the merits of CM Punk and whether he should have been, like we've done this ad nauseum. But I do think it is worth noting that like he could have pulled the plug on this a long time ago. Like for the last 2 years, he's made no money off of MMA, right? But he's still in Milwaukee.
He made money off MMA.
In the last 2 years?
How much money did he make at UFC 205?
203.
203, sorry.
Yeah, but then that was it. He could have walked away with that scot-free.
Yeah, well, he didn't make no money. He made a ton of money.
In the last 2 years, after the fact.
You mean since then?
He's not getting paid to train.
Yeah, I understand that.
He got embarrassed.
Yeah.
Thoroughly embarrassed.
Sure.
He's coming back for more. I feel like there's something commendable about that, right?
No.
What?
Oh, you mean, is there something commendable about coming back from adversity, right?
Yeah.
From challenge, from failure even. Well, yes, of course.
If I try something once in front of millions of people and suck at it, I'm probably not coming back for more.
Okay, yes. Standing up when you've been knocked down is always going to be commendable. So in that sort of very zoomed out perspective, sure. doing it on the biggest stage where you are.
That's not his fault. They want him.
Come on, man. I understand that, but you're asking.
Blame the UFC.
I do. Oh, trust me, I do.
What do you want him to say? Keep your $1 million paycheck?
I think if you want to develop the right way, they can give them the Mike Jackson fight. But I don't know what they're supposed to do after this. And I made this point before. If you actually care about getting better at fighting, here's the bad news for you. This fight notwithstanding, you can't do it in the UFC if you're at the level he's at. It's not possible.
If you get opponents like Mike Jackson, you can.
How many Mike Jacksons are they going to book for him?
Oh, well,
and by the way,
they can.
And by the way, just to be clear about this, Mike Jackson might beat the brakes off of him. There's a possibility.
Very
of that.
possible. By the way, we just saw Priscilla Cachoeira, who's no UFC. Like the idea that
She
there's
had
something
8
called
wins.
Come on, 8 wins for who?
He doesn't have 8 fights.
Okay, but I'm just saying the idea that there's something called UFC caliber doesn't exist anymore. They are their own feeder.
I realize the line has blurred. It's somewhat.
It's not even blurred. It's been dropped all the way down to bottom.
It hasn't been. It hasn't
What are you
been.
talking about?
Because you can look at this in other sports. Pick a sport that's in the Olympics. You see this all the time. They have international federations that rank you.
Yeah.
I realize we don't have that, but hear me out. It's the same kind of architecture. You have A class, B class, C class, and D class, then amateur fighters or amateur athletes. Your A class talent, there can be wide disparities between them. Think about a black belt and then, Buchecha or something. There's a big disparity between them, but you at least have attained some level of sophistication. The UFC is still predominantly a place for A class talent. They will go to literal borderline amateur talent, depending if they can sell tickets or not in this particular case. But I don't think it's true to say we can throw the baby out with the bathwater because they're trying to make money off of one guy or a couple of guys.
They've already done it.
I know, but they still have 90% of the A-class fighters in MMA. Yeah, but where are the A-class fighters? They're in the UFC.
Sure, but that's partly because they're able to pay them the most amount of money, but they've opened up the sort of radius is much larger now.
Radius is huge.
It's much larger.
It's huge.
Let's put a nip in this, but do you want to say something on the Punk thing?
I just want to say I'm in favor of it. I'm all for. I'm all in.
There we go. That's what I expected.
You also sicken me.
That's what. We'll have plenty of time. I just wanted to sort of gauge the interest as we approach
less than
UFC
0.
225. All right, let's take some questions here. 1.5? All right, I'll take that. We'll work on that. Okay, should the UFC get rid of rankings? How about that? To keep fighters from turning down fights with lower-ranked opponents. So right now they have this this panel. Have you guys ever looked at the panel?
I did.
I love these individuals.
A few names I do
recognize. I look at it maybe every 6, 8.
It started off with at least 30, 40 people, and it keeps getting smaller.
It's 60 people,
but
I think, when it started.
I have no information, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they just go let's just move. Like Josh Emmett wins and he's got a main event on Fox. He goes up 4 slots. It's just weird how that works. But at this point, we all know why they never wanted to bring in rankings. They were always opposed to it. Joe Silva in particular, Fox wanted them to bring in the rankings so that they could say we've got number 3 versus number 4 on FS1. But at this point, do you feel like the rankings are doing more harm than good? Like if there weren't rankings, they wouldn't have to hear this criticism why is Nate Diaz jumping over these guys? It's all just a big free-for-all, right? Why not just get rid of them?
Yeah.
Does it really do anything?
I don't know. My sense about it is they are a big problem. You can talk. There's so many guys you can talk to who can't get a fight in the inner circle,
right?
Because everyone there has no incentive to take a fight outside the winner's circle.
It's tough.
It's real tough. And I think if you made a fight like Nate Diaz versus Tyron Woodley, it would further exacerbate it because you could say, well, how are you going to get this? You could either, how are you going to get big opportunities? Well, you can get lucky and get a fight against a big name, or you can try to work your way up divisionally, and even that turns out you can be leapfrogged. But in other words, if you're RDA, there's no way you're taking a fight with Colby Covington. It's not.
Look at a guy like James Vick. James Vick can't crack. I think he's 8-1 or 9-1, and everyone's saying you're ranked 13th. So if you just get rid of it, I feel like it would actually open the doors for them to make more fights. That they didn't have this problem 6-7 years ago.
That may be the case. I like rankings. I just don't like the fact that it's UFC rankings. I think that when you're watching, you name the sport. College basketball, college football. It's always the number 1 team against the number 4 team or whatever, and that kind of adds a little gravitas to that matchup.
Sure.
And even in MMA, for a while, there were some media rankings. Yahoo was doing media rankings with a panel of about 20 or 25 people, but they were just doing a pound-for-pound ranking, which I think is kind of the least worthy of all the rankings. If there were media rankings for each division, basically the UFC rankings, but take it out of the UFC and have some people from MMA Fighting, some people from MMA Junkie, ESPN, the Post. Various people covering the sport, and somebody were to be running the thing. Actually, when I was at Sports Illustrated, I was suggesting to those guys that we do that, but we just never could get the thing going. I think that it lends a little bit of credence or a little bit of like weight to who this fighter is versus that fighter. So I think rankings are good, but when there's even a question of whether these are real or they're just a promotional tool, then it just takes it away.
And then some people like Ronda's still ranked, but then like they'll take Nate Diaz off because they say he turns down fights.
Isn't Kane still in the top 5?
I don't.
Top 10 for sure.
Yeah, Ronda's still pretty high up there. Dominic Cruz was there when he didn't fight for 3 years. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to anything. So there's all kinds of.
By the way, to Jeff's point, SB Nation used to do this. We used to have the SB Nation USA Today Consensus MMA rankings.
Yeah.
And then USA Today decided to work with MMA Junkie, and then the rankings went away. Bad job, USA Today. Bad job.
Okay, what else do we have? Let's go. What do we got? Who could Amanda Nunes fight next after not getting the Cyborg fight?
Raquel Pennington?
That's the one? Yeah. Is that the one you want to see? Raquel Pennington hasn't fought since UFC 205, the first MSG show.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have a strong opinion about this.
Yeah, not really. No.
Okay. There it is. Jeff?
I mean, I think that's the reason why the Cyborg fight was on the table in the first place.
Right.
Cyborg didn't have a logical challenger, and it didn't seem like Nunes had somebody who was just crying out to be the next challenger. I think Raquel Pennington certainly has the best case of anybody who's in there currently, but it's certainly not crying out.
We need a ranking system to figure this out.
That's a good point.
That's exactly.
Okay, let's serve up the next one. That one, not a big hit.
Nope.
Do you think a Blades victory this weekend is pivotal for the heavyweight division?
Pivotal.
Ooh,
that's a crazy word.
Yeah, that is.
It would be nice because obviously Francis Ngannou was just coming up, and we were looking at him as the infusion of new blood in that division, and he doesn't do it, but you still understand that guy has a lot to offer, and we probably will see him again soon in a position to get a shot. But Blades is one of those guys who I believe he lost to Ngannou on a short notice fight, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it kind of short notice, or something was funky about that fight?
Went the distance, but I don't know if it was short notice. No, it didn't go the distance. Excuse me.
No, it didn't.
His eye got it.
Yeah, his eye. But anyways, he gave him some trouble.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys who he actually cast a little doubt into that Ngannou that fight. And he's been very good since then. And this is a nice Mark. He's going against Mark Hunt. It's one of those baton, one of those passing in the night type thing. So it'd be nice for them to get some new guys up there, and he's certainly one of them.
I think, it'd be a big pivotal. I don't know, because here's the thing. I thought it was kind of pivotal for Eric Anders to break through against Lyoto Machida. I thought he deserved to win that fight. I recognize that it's close. I don't have an issue with the split decision going the other way in the general sense, but I did not score it that way. But these divisions, they need young guys to push through. And you could tell Anders was getting a little bit of pub from the University of Alabama stuff. He was getting write-ups everywhere. And there he goes to Brazil, and he just couldn't quite break through. That's not good for that division. That division, you need those young guys to come and push out the old ones. Blades doesn't quite have that feel yet, but in general, yes, you want to see this turnover.
Well, so is it better for the UFC to have Mark Hunt win at this juncture because at least he's a name?
Can't imagine.
No, okay.
I mean, at least in heavyweight,
UFC,
heavyweight is the one division where I think I would be one of the younger guys in the weight class. So that's the one division where Hunt wouldn't be just like the guy that is just hanging on, but he kind of still is.
Yeah, and he also has that bad loss to Stipe, so that's a tough fight to rebook. Okay, let's move along here. What is/was your favorite British TV series?
Oh, that's a good one.
Benny Hill, come on.
Was that a joke?
Remember Benny Hill?
You just
with the music.
You just like the fact that he
Yes,
was
I did, actually. It was PBS, and occasionally you get a little topless.
Benny Hill show was awesome. How about Faulty Towers?
Faulty Towers is a good one.
Never seen it.
You ever seen John Cleese absent Monty Python?
Is that Faulty Towers?
Yes.
Get out.
It's only about 10, 13 episodes, something like that.
Is it new
one
or old?
season? Oh no, it's many years ago.
Monty
but
Python, yeah,
it's
I know.
worth watching.
I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to have another hot take here. This is going to be great.
Okay.
My favorite British series, I mean, Monty Python probably is the classic one, but I would say the original British The Office.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
It's only 2 seasons long.
Yeah.
The American Office is trash. It's not good. It's not funny. It's a cheap imitation of the British version. And the people who try to quote American Office lines, they're all losers because they're doing a worse version of what Ricky Gervais and the other co-writer were able to do in England long before it. It's a way, way better show.
Mm-hmm. There's also a show that's on right now on Netflix, The Crown, which I don't know if it's made. Obviously, it's about the British monarchy, but I'm not sure if it's was
Is
made.
it good? I keep seeing
actually
it.
really
It's a
good.
little.
It's
It's
very
good.
good.
It's a.
Is it dry?
Okay, I've got a good recommendation for you.
Okay.
Good British TV recommendation. End of the effing world. It is 8 or 9 episodes. Each one's only 20 minutes. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It is crazy.
Have you guys ever
And
seen
then
the
Black
show?
Mirror.
Black
Originally.
Mirror. That's British?
I think originally it was British.
Have you guys ever seen the show Peep Show? This is phenomenal.
You mean back before Giuliani took over Times Square?
Peep Show is incredible. One of the greatest comedies I've ever seen. It's all done POV style with these two wacky roommates. It's hilarious. I highly recommend it. And there was a time that Spike TV was going to do an American version of it, but I don't know whatever happened to that.
That's not a good thing.
I highly recommend
We
Peep
just
Show.
binge watched Luther. That was a good show.
Is that Is that British?
It's British, BBC.
Okay. It
was good.
Oh, you guys are really learned.
The Brits make good. The Brits make good music and they make good TV.
they do.
They do.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Check some of those out. Why don't they weigh in MMA fighters right before the fight, after the fight weight, rather than just their weight the day before? And by the way, hashtag smile Luke, for God's sakes.
What a stupid hashtag.
That was actually the reason why I picked this question. But
I
it
thought it
did.
said smell, Luke, for God's sake.
You can do that too.
So
I showered.
it is problematic to have same-day weigh-ins because then you're not giving guys enough time to rehydrate.
Right.
But I would love, and I don't get why they don't do this. Like, why can't we find out how much these guys weigh come fight night, like they do on HBO, on Showtime? It's a nice little factoid. I want to know how much they weigh, but they shy away from it because I think they don't want to promote the fact that they are gaining all this weight after the fact. Do you guys have any? Would you like to see same-day weigh-ins? Would you like to see that?
Even if they don't do same-day weigh-ins, I think just letting us know after the fact. At some point, finding out within close proximity to the fight how much they weighed. Ideally,
I agree.
You know what they could do is, Wonderboy Thompson said when he was at the New York card, it was a 205. Like as he began to walk out, they weighed him.
Really?
Close to walk out. I think they came maybe like right in the dressing room before. Like it was very, very close.
Like, hey, Wonderboy, time to go out. Before you do that, step on the scale real quick.
I don't think it was like that exactly.
Yeah,
but like it was not far away.
Okay.
And then they weighed him and
I like that.
I love that. And
Yeah.
then tell us and let us know.
Yeah.
Sure, I think it'd be great.
Well, it also adds another dimension to the fight, right?
I'm fascinated by the people who weigh 30 pounds
Yeah.
beyond where they were on the scale the day before. Because
And it's not illegal. It's not illegal.
I know. Obviously, California is trying to address some of the stuff, but I agree. I would love to know the difference. So that if it's a welterweight fight and there's a guy showing up at 200 pounds, I feel like that's sort of significant. You know what I mean? Because the other guy's probably 180. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 185. So those things are. That's all I've ever asked too. I would love to know the weights they actually step in there as.
Yeah, it's one more piece of information that would help the broadcast. Right now, once in a while, we'll see, not so much on the broadcast, but sometimes online you'll see a photo of someone on a scale who looks like a skeleton, and then a photo of that person as they're being introduced, and it's like, oh my God, that's the same person.
Of like Conor McGregor, remember 145?
Yeah.
He looks like he was at death's door on the scale, like crazy looking.
Right.
And then he shows up and he looks all healthy.
Yeah,
I was like, how does that? I mean, that transformation is
There's a
nuts.
whole
James
science to
Irvin
it.
back in the day,
Oh,
a couple
my.
of times, he looked like, and then he shows up and you're just like, this
Right.
is what a transformation in 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't feel like it's something that you need to necessarily like shy away from if you're the UFC. We know the UFC controls the production, so they get to decide. And it'll be fascinating, by the way, with the new TV deal, because the UFC, I'm told, does not want to control production anymore because it's just an added cost. So, like, let's say,
God, that's good to hear.
maybe I don't know, for this argument's sake, I mean, like, let's say ESPN takes it, right?
Yep.
ESPN starts covering it and saying like, yeah, he weighed in like HBO and Showtime do. I just feel like that's just interesting, like that's
Well,
just
you look at
part
Darren
of the
Till, for
sport.
instance, in that fight against Cowboy Cerrone, and you just see.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like a Hulk next to him. You're like, how could this be the same weight class?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to
All
have
right,
that info.
not happening anytime soon. Maybe with the new TV deal. Okay, what else do we have? If you could only watch, if you could only watch fights from one UFC weight division in 2018, which one would you pick and why?
Easiest question ever, lightweight. It wouldn't have to be 2018. You could pick just about any year. Well, not 2007, I suppose, but anything 2009 and up or so. I mean, lightweight is good globally. You can go to, whatever ramshackle promotion in the middle of nowhere, Europe, and they're going to have some lightweights that can fight.
Any theory for that?
I think that's just.
It's just the way people are built, right? That within the average. So you're probably like the welterweight too. I'd say welterweight would be second.
Welterweight's a good one too.
Right.
So, but I would lightweight for sure.
But the thing,
always
all the big guys, they go do, not all of them, but a lot of them go do other sports, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a 155 and let's say walk around 180 or something, and you're an excellent athlete, it's a great opportunity for you.
Right. And you're not going to be able to be a football player. You're not going to be able to be a basketball player. You're not going to be able to maybe a baseball
Oh,
player.
okay, I see. I'm surprised. I thought you guys would say women's featherweight. That's my pick.
Okay.
You'd watch
Women's
one
featherweight.
fight?
You got me.
Yeah, that's
One
right.
fight in
take that.
2018?
No, just like Cyborg,
Yeah.
who's up next? Do you agree, lightweight?
Yeah, I mean, well, the fights I like to watch the most are the heavyweight fights because of just, I love
you're
watching
picking
the best.
heavyweight. Great.
But I would say sustained over a year, I don't know that there's enough, like if I'm watching fights, if you're saying if I could watch a fight,
Yeah.
I want to watch the heavyweight title. But if you're talking about a whole year, sustaining that for, whatever amount of fights you're going to watch, lightweight just has more depth, has more to offer.
Okay. What else do we have? A couple more left here. Y'all like king cake. Thoughts on Mardi Gras?
Yep.
Luke seems like he would eat it. What is king cake?
King cake is this, it's this cake they serve during Mardi Gras, and there's this little baby inside, the king, right? Or no,
Plastic
little baby.
Okay, what kind of cake is it?
What would you call it?
It's like a regular. I don't know that there's a
Pound cake?
It's not pound
No,
cake. It's
no.
almost like, it's a little
Sponge
it's a
cake.
little flaky.
Okay.
And inside there's this little doll, and if you get the doll, what do you get to make a wish or something, or
something good happens to
something?
you.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to find the doll in the cake, and it has, and usually there's coloring on top, which is the Mardi Gras colors, so like blue, green, purple, yellow. Yeah, Mardi Gras.
Have you ever been to Mardi Gras? Anyone here?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
What year?
Whoa, I would love to have seen that.
I've been in Mardi Gras a couple times.
Whoa.
He went for
when was the
he had
last
a
time?
consecutive streak from 63 to
I don't,
78.
I don't, yeah, right. I've been there for other things more, but I went to Mardi Gras in 1982.
Whoa.
Yes, I
wasn't
lost my
born yet.
first job out of college because I chose to go to Mardi Gras.
Really?
And I told my editor and said I'm going to Mardi Gras, and that was the end of that job. But it was okay. It was
worth it?
Oh, totally.
I didn't go to Mardi Gras, but I went to New Orleans right afterwards. And first time I went to New Orleans, I got hammered. Okay, hammered to the point where I got bit by a horse.
Wow.
Yeah, I got bit on the hand by. I was like, "Can I pet
How
your
do we
horse?"
stumble into your stories?
Yeah.
It's like, "Can I pet your horse?" And the officer was like, "Sure, go ahead," but like kind of chuckling. And I went to pet it, and the horse like and just bit my hand.
What did it feel like?
Not money.
Yeah.
No, I did not feel money. It hurt.
Have you ever
It
been
hurt
to
real
Mardi
bad.
Gras?
Never Mardi Gras. I've been to New Orleans. It always seems like there's a half Mardi Gras going on down there.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
still some of the
never been.
activities-
If you go there for I went there for Tim Tebow's last college game when they played the Bearcats.
Okay.
For the Sugar Bowl. Oh my God, it was a show.
Really?
Oh yeah. There was one girl. She was. You thought I was hammered? This was like dangerously hammered. She wasn't fighting horses. She was completely wrecked. And this is on the streets of this is Bourbon Street. I'll never forget this. There were dudes and ladies. Actually, it was equal opportunity. They were throwing beads at her, but they were not like throwing beads because she was revealing her chest, just to mess with her. And they were hitting her in the face with the beads.
Oh my.
And she was trying to throw them back. And every time she threw them back, she would like fall and collapse like an old man. And then she started rolling around in the gutters and stuff. And her friends were trying to help her, and they're equally hammered. So it was this like comedy of errors where all three of these girls are just rolling around in the gutters of Bourbon Street, New Orleans. I just sat there and watched it. It was great.
I've never had the pleasure. It's like
You never had a hand grenade?
no, not well. I don't know what that is.
Oh, you'll find out if you go.
Okay.
Just order one.
New Orleans, Austin, and Portland are the three.
What?
It's like America's
cities.
best cities.
I know. I haven't been to them.
Yeah.
UFC
Get
doesn't
Cormier
go
to
to them.
book his fight over there in New Orleans.
I know. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
like a Mardi
Actually,
Gras.
he's going to be a part of Mardi Gras. He's being honored.
Nice.
Told me that. So
But just to clarify,
yeah,
New Orleans is a lot better than just the French Quarter.
sure.
There's a lot of cool things.
So
there.
king cake is good.
You go to the
It's
King
Mardi
cake is,
Gras, right?
look, a king cake is just whatever. It's nothing.
Is today Mardi Gras? No.
I don't know.
It's on a
No,
Tuesday, right?
it's,
It has to be Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Fat Tuesday, but
Yeah.
Mardi Gras actually the party is 2 weeks
Oh, so
up
maybe it
till Mardi.
started.
Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday is the end of the party. That's the last day of the party.
okay.
But it's like parades for about 10 days leading up to it, and it's awesome. And like Luke says, you go to the French Quarter, Bourbon Street, maybe once during your time, and then you get that out of your system, and the rest of the city is a pretty awesome place to be.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep.
Maybe one day.
I love it.
Two more. If your favorite sports team won the championship, what's the grossest thing you'd eat in celebration?
Oh man.
This, of course, on the heels of the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the New England Patriots on Sunday, and apparently some fan was eating horse manure. Is that true?
Dung.
I didn't see this.
I saw it.
Yeah, is it true?
Shoveling it into his mouth.
Well, see, the thing is that this, because they won the Super Bowl, it became a much bigger, more public thing. But what you don't realize is that actually Eagles fans eat that every single Sunday during football season. It's just a typical Philadelphia meal.
Post-game meal.
That's what they do.
I'm going to call that the Philly cheesesteak. You going to go eat some cheesesteaks, Philly, huh? Is that what you're going to do? I don't know. I'll just say this. I thought, the Philly fans will always, I made this point before the show, they want to tell folks, people we have a bad reputation that we don't deserve, and people don't understand who we are. No, you are who we thought you were. Savages, and not the good kind. Barbarians.
They were happy.
Visigoths.
If the Redskins won the Super Bowl, you wouldn't have just a smidge of horse manure
I would
offered
still
up to
be
you.
housebroken if the Washington Redskins won the Super Bowl. I would know how to go potty, and I wouldn't then consume what was in the potty. Right. So, Philadelphia, you are who we thought you were.
What about if the Nuggets won the NBA championship?
Oh, man, the Denver Nuggets, that's different.
See,
That's the problem. I'm like, we've done it.
You've done it.
Whatever. It's
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat anything. I wouldn't even eat tuna for that.
Right.
How about this? What's the grossest thing you ever have eaten?
Tuna.
Tuna. I have it like every.
I hate tuna.
Really?
Tuna fish.
Really? You don't like that?
Out of the can, it's gross.
Oh, I have it like almost every day for lunch. So no, you wouldn't go nuts. Do you think though that
If it's the Denver Nuggets,
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the sports teams, that would be the one because they've never even made it to the NBA Finals, and the refs screwed them back in 2007 when they were playing the Lakers, which I was at those games.
Wow.
And the inbound pass with
holding.
Anthony Cardi. I'm still a little upset by it, but I mean, I honestly, if they won it, I'd feel good. I can't imagine why I would need to eat anything out of the.
But you don't think you'll act a little crazy? You think you're past that point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I wouldn't like overturn a car or something like that.
Yeah.
We're not in a fraternity anymore.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Would you? Let's say if the Knicks won.
I just want to feel it once. I just want to know.
You want to know?
I want to know. I want to know. When the Knicks were making a run in 1999, they were the 8th seed and they made it to the finals. I remember telling my future wife that if they won, I would run in our neighborhood naked. I would do it. Probably because I knew the Spurs were going to beat them. But
In other words, get the camera ready if they get there again. We gotta.
I would listen right here on the record.
Is this still going to happen?
I would do it. I just want it once.
All right.
And of course, we're further away than we ever were, but I just want it once. It's probably because that joke I made last week
deadline
about
to
your
me. You never
bad
know, man.
teams.
Yep.
Look what's happened to me since.
Yep, karma. Castigo divino.
All right, last one. Let's end on a good note for the panel. What are your plans for Valentine's Day?
Wow.
Jesus.
When is it?
Well, today's the 8th.
14th, but
6
what day is
days.
it?
6 days.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Jeff, let's see.
I'll be preparing for next week's MMA beat. I mean,
Okay.
my wife will be like, "Are we going to go out tonight?" I'll be, "No, I got to prepare so I can
You're a big
represent
Valentine's Day guy, right? The fire's still burning.
Oh, man, you know what? I actually have I have one of these things about these holidays that you have to, do certain things like I love to traditionally, and my wife now is kind of used to this. I'll bring her flowers.
Oh, that's nice.
This Saturday, or some other day, just to surprise her.
That's
Rather than,
very nice.
I don't, something
Romantic.
about the Valentine, something about, on the 14th when everybody is doing these things, I kind of resist that kind of thing.
And is
So
she on board with this?
No, you kidding me? She wants to. Yeah, no.
So you will be going out.
Well, yeah, of course, we'll go do something.
Okay. All right. Chuck.
Luckily for me, my sister is married on Valentine's Day, so it's always her anniversary as well. So then we kind of, it almost goes her direction. You buy her, get her something, send her
You
out to
buy
eat.
for anniversars?
For her, I do, yeah.
Really?
Well, just
So
I
strange.
get them like some,
You do?
food.
That's so nice.
They go out to eat.
A little $20. Olive Branch.
try to
No,
do
no,
more
not
than
Olive Branch. Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden's good.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
Okay.
Generally, I mean, it just depends, man. It just depends on the year.
So you honor your sister on Valentine's Day, not your wife.
so.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, it's just kind of, I don't think it's our thing to go overboard. Yeah.
Luke though is all about it.
I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like, it's a waste of money.
Fleas and hoes.
It's a waste of money. Wow.
What would I do? What are we going to do? We're obviously going to go out to eat.
So you are making a point to go out.
Yeah, we have
Valentine's Day.
reservations.
You already have them.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I've already got all the bases covered.
Really?
Modern day Casanova. You know nothing about me.
What else do you have covered?
Flowers going to get delivered to her workplace on Valentine's
Already
Day.
booked?
Yep.
You bought it.
Booyaka
So
shot.
this is actually more impressive than I expected.
What did you think I was going to do? Like send her horse manure and tell her to eat
You
it?
taking the train up to Philly for dinner? That's
Yeah, we're going to go to Philly, have some cheesesteaks.
So we got the flowers.
Flowers. I don't get the chocolates thing because she won't eat them.
Okay.
And then we're going to like, you know, an okay, I wouldn't say like a super amazing place, but a nice place for dinner. And then the thing, that's the part about that kind of kills me. It's like those things are nice and they're fine, but I don't know. I like to do the outdoors thing, and I've done like there's a river that goes through DC, and we've done like go in the Potomac, not a cruise, but like you know an hour-long boat tour. But I don't know. The food sucked, and the wine was like garbage, and it just I don't know. It was cold. So I'm trying to figure out something outside to do, but I don't really know what that is. Someone suggested, like, oh, you and your wife should go to dance classes. I was like, I'd rather get divorced. Straight up rather get divorced than go to dance
I
classes.
actually think that would be fun. A little salsa.
You?
I got nothing.
I do have to
You
buy
got
little
nothing?
chocolates
I
for
got
my
nothing.
daughter.
You're
I
not
mean,
gonna-
as of right now, I have nothing. I actually feel a little like nervous right now.
You don't have any
after
dinner
this.
plans?
Nothing. I'm
Wow.
just trying to survive. I have 3 kids under the age of 5. I don't know what day it is today. I mean, thankfully, this young man reminded me that it's Valentine's
You're
Day.
getting a babysitter, though, right?
We haven't discussed it. Bad move? Should I do it?
I mean, clock's ticking, bro.
Yeah. Okay. What should we do? Stay tuned next week.
You know
I'll
what kills
update
me
you.
though? All the ones where it's like, I think my wife, I don't know this to be sure, but I think she got me because it's always like, oh, what are you doing for Valentine's? And then what you end up hearing is, well, this dude has to do all these things. He has to make reservations and pay for it and get flowers. Like, what does the dude get out of this? I think my wife got me a massage. I don't know this to be sure.
Okay,
I
wow.
think so.
That's
I'm
big.
looking at deep tissue.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Get all the knots out.
Yeah,
Looking
yeah.
forward to that.
What if she says, I'm going to give you the massage? Then you're like, it's not really a pro massage, right?
She tried that once, and I felt like Brock Lesnar underneath Shane Carwin. I actually joke about it. I call it Shane Carwin ground and pound because it was so horrendous.
Yeah.
I was like, never do that again. She's got many, many talents, and massage ain't one of them. So.
Okay. All right. We're out of time. Thank you very much to everyone who sent in questions. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Of course, UFC is back this weekend, as we said, with UFC 221.
Yes.
And only on pay-per-view.
Luke just compared his wife to Shane Carwin. This is like
Great way to end.
I love my wife, but the ground and pound is tremendous. Tremendous.
So if you're watching that, enjoy it. We'll be back next week to talk about that and God knows what else going on in the world of MMA. For now, we shall say goodbye. For Luke, for Chuck, for Jeff, I am Ariel. For the rest of the crew, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the fights and enjoy your weekend.